We are live. Welcome to another edition of Adobe Live with the education team. My name is Jesse Lubinsky. I'm a principal evangelist with the Adobe for Education team, and I am joined by my good friend, Kristen Brooks, coming to us from Atlanta, Georgia. Kristen, welcome.
Hey, everybody. Glad you are here with us. We are excited to be creating together. Yay.
So, Kristen, for those of our audience who have never met you before, first of all, they're very lucky, but tell us a little bit about yourself quickly. I know you have a lot of exciting stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, so I am Kristen Brooks. I'm coming from Atlanta, Georgia, and I have been an educator for 30 years. And in those 30 years, 21 of those were exclusively in educational technology. So I was an educational technology coach, an instructional teacher. I did tech lab with students. I've taught all ages. So I like to say I enjoy teaching people to create that are 5 to 55.
And you joined me for one of my favorite sessions because I love sessions where we have students joining us. And I can see in the chat, we have students here from Canada, we have students here from Las Vegas, we have students here from Texas. They're from everywhere. And we are going to create today. And what we are going to do today, actually, Kristen, why don't you tell everyone, what are we going to do today?
We're going to create videos, so like a reflective retro video. And I will say I'm super stoked about this because creating videos with anyone is like my sweet spot. Like I just think it's amazing to teach people to create videos. So yes,
And also, it's the end of the school year. We're
yeah,
like, right? We always love those fun things to do at the end of the year to reflect back on everything we've learned throughout the school year.
yes.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to get started in Adobe Express. For those of you who have never seen Adobe Express before, oh, I see Claudio is joining us in the chat as well. He's familiar with Adobe Express. So, uh, on the screen, you should see, we're going to give everyone a minute. So we're going to do this. If you've never been with us before for one of these Adobe Live sessions where we do them with students, this is going to be a little bit of an I do, you do. So Kristen and I are going to model and then give you some time to create on your own. And we're going to go back and forth until we have that finished created product. So on the screen right now, you should see my Adobe Express for Education homepage. And if you're seeing Adobe Express for the first time, keep in mind this is Adobe Express for Education. So this is a premium version that features a ton of additional features that you wouldn't get in the regular version of Adobe Express. So this is specifically designed for students, for educators to be able to create and, you know, find that entry point of something you're passionate about, whether it's video, creating web pages, creating animations, and you can do it all within Adobe Express. So today we're going to be starting off with a special template that we want to use, as Kristen mentioned, to do that end of year retro video. And we'll give everyone a moment to catch up and just make sure they're logged in. But there's two ways you can get to it. So I'm not sure if we can put this, Kristen will put it in the chat, but the web page we're going to be going to that they can take us right to our template that we're going to be using today is adobe.ly slash and then May with a capital M, the number 25, and edu with a capital E. We love to mix and match and make it as hard as possible. So let's do one more time. Adobe.ly slash May with a capital M, the number 25, and edu with a capital E. Now, hopefully you got that. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Cody Bear, for putting that into the chat. So if you missed that or you're just like, wait, I just got logged in, where do I go from here? Fortunately, there's another way to go if you don't type in the link directly. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll down on the Adobe EDU homepage. And let me do that one more time. A little slower. Right below our quick actions, you'll notice there's guided activities for every subject. So we have recently released a series of guided activities, which are special. We're going to show you why in a moment. But the very first one that you'll see over here on the left-hand side is record a video reflection. And that's the one we're going to be doing today. But again, the easiest way to get there, if you're just on your browser screen and joining us, is adobe.ly/May with a capital M, the number 25, and edu with a capital E. I am going to just click this one and jump right in. So we're going to record a video reflection. Now, when I click on it, those of you who've used Adobe Express before know that one of the best parts of Adobe Express is the fact that there are thousands upon thousands of templates that you can use to create your project. But one of the neat things I love about our guided activities is if you notice on the right-hand side, Kristen, what do we see over on the right-hand side that makes this a little bit different than some of our other templates?
You've got your resources button.
Well, we have our resources button there, but notice here we have the Learn tab, right? So all of our guided activities have that Learn tab, and I'm the type of person, if you hand me a blank piece of paper and ask me to create something, I get stressed out. But here, this actually provides us with a little video play-by-play of how to actually interact with this template. So I'm going to hit play. Hopefully we hear it. If not, you can at least see that it's moving. And this gives me a video step-by-step. I'll actually just skip through it. I could pop it out. I could make it full screen.
You can also do closed captioning.
Right. So if you're the type of person who loves a
that.
video step-by-step, you have that. But I am not the type of person who loves a video step-by-step. I actually like to see the kind of written out steps. And the great part is if I click Get Started, there you go. It'll actually give us the instructions on what to do with this template in order to change it. But like I told you, I get stressed out when I have to create stuff from scratch. That's why I'm so grateful to have Kristen here with me today, because Kristen's going to help guide me through this, our end of year reflection.
And you and I are the opposite, because I like the video the best.
So I'm going to close that window. I could always bring it back by using the, if you close it accidentally, you could always hit the light bulb up here to bring it back. I'm going to close it out. But right now, everyone should be here on this screen. So everyone should have either entered the template from the main page or through the link that we gave out. Now, Kristen,
yes,
what are we going to do? Help me get started with this.
All right. So I will say that one thing that my students do love is when we do create these and we have that learn over there on the right-hand side, that if they do go through the step-by-steps, there's always that confetti at the end. And everybody loves getting some confetti. I mean, it's just like
Love confetti
gratification.
And if you don't get the confetti when you get to the end, we will have Kristen come to you and actually throw paper on you wherever you are. So get excited.
I would love to do that.
Kristen, we have so we came in, we just closed that Learn tab just so that we could have the full screen for our project.
Yes.
What do we do now?
So as an educator, one of the things that I would probably do when I'm doing this with my students is obviously discuss with them the questions. And for me, I do a lot with my 4th and 5th graders, things like this. And I would probably have them choose maybe 1 or 2 of them, not try to fit all 3 into one video. So definitely educators, it's like your teacher tip. You might want to have those questions written somewhere on the board, or if you use, some sort of way for them to access your links, then you might put it there. And
I love that.
And discuss with them, so definitely the first thing we're going to do though is we're going to add our video or make our video. So we're going to go over to the far left-hand side and tap on media.
Before we do that, there's actually one thing I always forget to do that I want to model best practices for everyone.
What you're going to say, and I just thought
of it. And that is naming my file, because I never name my file, and then in my your stuff, I wind up having a million things. So I'm going to call this, I'm just going to simply type up at the top and call this our video reflection.
And I had taught my students like maybe to put dates, like at least the year, like 2025 video reflection.
Oh, that's smart. Okay. Well, this is more than I usually do. So the fact that I've named it is a really big accomplishment for me. So I'm very excited. We're done.
I don't have any confetti, but I'm going to do Stardust in front of you. Yay!
Okay. So we're going to go to media.
Yes. And then once you click on media, you're going to go up to the top to your other menu at the top, and you are going to tap on videos.
Okay, we're gonna tap on videos.
And then you're going to see a gray button that says record yourself.
Okay, now this is cool because if you've been with us and you've been using Adobe Express the whole time with us, you'll know that this is actually not something that has been here the whole time. This is actually something new. Kristen, do you want to tell us about what this new feature in Adobe Express?
Well, it uses your front-facing camera, and it is something that I am thrilled about to have it here, just ready to go, so easy to access, and it's just amazing.
And think about all the times. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've recorded something, using another device or my phone and then had to bring it into Express. So the fact that
Yes,
right now in a project, I could just simply record myself is great. So is that what we're going to do? I'm going to hit
absolutely.
record yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so let's give everyone a moment. Before we do that, we are going to make sure. So where we are, we opened up our project. We've named our file. If you feel really inclined, you could add a date like Kristen said. We'll give everyone a moment to do that. And then all we did so far was we clicked on media and went to videos.
Mm-hmm.
We're staying here for a moment. We'll give everyone a moment to just make sure they're in the right place.
And it's the left side menu bar is where your media button is. And then once you click on that, it's the top row that
For
has the word
videos.
videos. And then it's a gray button. I love using the colors because for my younger students, that's really helpful.
And I'm looking at the chat. By the way, thank you everyone for. I feel like I'm getting kudos for naming my file. That's great. This is the kind of support I needed today. So now that we're all in the same place, we've all named our file. We're all in videos. Kristen, what are we going to do?
So now we are going to record, and you're going to answer one of the questions, like what was a moment of growth, discovery, or learning this year? What are you most proud of and why? Or what would you do differently in the future?
Now, the great part about this is, even though these are the ones that are built in, this could be anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever class you're in and wherever you're joining us from, if you as a class decide that there's something that would be better for your class as a prompt, please by all means feel free to use that prompt while we're doing this activity. So Kristen, is there one you want me to use, or for the purposes of the rest of our project, or
You can choose.
oh no, there's a lot of
I like,
stress.
okay, what are
Oh
you
wait.
most proud of and why?
Okay, what am I most proud of and why? I feel like this has become a deep intellectual activity here. What am I the most proud of? Okay. Um, I'm ready. So I have my answer. I really don't, but I'm going to do it on the fly. Okay, what do I do next?
So you just literally click record yourself and
Okay,
it's going to
so I'm
start.
hitting record myself, and ooh, I see notice that when I click record myself, I see myself again because I already see myself because of the recording. But it's showing my mic levels, and
And it's
I
going to give
see
you a
this.
countdown.
It's see the start recording button. It says when you're done recording, you'll be able to remove your background, add effects, and edit my video. Good, because that was my first concern. Right? I have to look great. So here we go. I'm gonna start recording, and the prompt I'm answering is what I am proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. So this year, I am so proud of the fact that I was able to work with so many teachers and students on helping them bring their creativity to life in all different subject areas and grade levels. So from math classrooms to art classrooms to technology classrooms, I was able to highlight ways that they can really tap into the things that excite them to create amazing resources for their classroom in Adobe Express. Peace. Okay, I added the piece at the end just because I wanted to do a little flair. Okay, so I hit stop. And when I hit stop, I have a couple options here. I could reset if I don't like that, or I can save recording.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to hit save recording. and that's it. Now we're going to stop for a moment. We're going to give you a few minutes to record. And I say minutes, Kristen, because we know that even though I hit save recording, there's going to be someone who wants to do it over again.
Yes,
So
always.
just to go over the steps of how we got here. In our project, we went over to the media tab over on the left-hand side. And once we were there, we hit videos and record yourself. And then remember, the prompt can be whatever you want it to be. It could be one of the prompts that's here, or if you're one of the classes joining us, feel free by all means. We have so many of our friends here with their classes. Make it localized. Make it specific to your class.
Absolutely. And
And we'll give you a moment while we're
while
not, so that we're
while
not
we're
making love.
while we're not, you know, while we're giving everyone a moment, I also wanted to mention as an educator, I know there's always this like another teacher tip. Um, there's always that one laptop that maybe the front camera is not working or it's not set up correctly or something. You also have the option where you could record it on a different device and just upload it into Adobe Express. So there's always those options as well, which makes it super awesome to keep everybody in the room on track and working.
And I'm going to throw another one out at you, Kristen.
Okay.
And this is for our students out there who do not like to be on camera. We know
Yep,
some people don't like to be on camera.
absolutely.
Right above record yourself, even though it's not the focus of today's work, we have the animate characters feature, which would allow you
Hmm.
to record your voice and create it as an animated character. If you've used Adobe Express before, I am sure you've seen this before, but this is just a nice way also of being able to still capture student voice without seeing yourself on screen. There are some days where I don't
Yes.
want to see myself on screen.
I brought some
And
of my
those days,
friends.
I was about to say, those days I'm a hot dog. We have that's is that Jordan? Is that what's the demo?
I
No,
think
Jordan's the
so.
bear.
No,
Yeah,
oh, hold on.
I forget.
Sock monkey.
Sock monkey. So everyone's recording right now. We're giving everyone a minute. We'll give you one more minute to record your quick message. You could always go back and record another one later. And shout out to one of our new Adobe innovators, Michael, who is giving a shout out to anime characters.
Yay.
Okay, Kristen, you tell us when do you think we're good?
I would say in like 10 seconds.
Okay, 10. Okay, we're back. So at this point, everyone should have their video on the screen. So you can see I have the original template that we had, which is in the background. And then I also have my video here that when I hit save recording, it kind of plopped it right here. Now, one of the nice things about Adobe Express is if it's an object in your graphic or your video, you're going to have options to be able to edit it over on the left-hand side. And you'll notice that over on the left-hand side, you have your video options. So I have a few things here. I have remove background. Spoiler alert, we'll be using this momentarily. Fit video, which can expand it into the screen. And enhance speech is
I love
here.
that. It's my favorite.
um, awesome. We're excited that that's here. It's like one of my favorite things.
Yes.
I've been doing it separately outside of here. The fact that it's in here now is amazing. We're going to use that in a moment as well. And so let's talk about enhanced speech for a second. Enhanced speech, if people were talking behind you and you're like, oh, it's getting all the noise of all the other people talking, because I'm sure kids in your classroom, everyone was talking at the same time.
Absolutely. I would usually
Well,
have
guess what?
around,
Enhanced speech is going to fix that.
yes, I would usually have about 20 to 25 kids in a room at one time. And enhanced speech, like it almost like creates a invisible bubble around the person who is talking.
It sounds like you're in a recording studio.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So you know what? Which do we want to do first?
enhance speech.
Okay, so since we're talking about it so much, I'm going to hit enhance speech on my video. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to enhance that audio the way that Kristen and I just described. So if you were worried about all the background noise that was happening, click enhance speech on your video, give it a moment. You'll see the magic's happening. It just
Mm-hmm.
enhanced speech added. And now if I hit play, okay. So you can imagine how amazing it would sound. I have to reshare my screen to be able to do that. Okay, so I have it there. What's the next thing we want to do?
I would definitely go ahead and make your video to fit your TV screen.
Okay, well, that I could actually do a little
Yes.
stretching here.
Yes. And then it also mentioned in the directions that there is the button down there on the right-hand side about the corners. If you want to make them kind of a rounded
I like that
edge
idea.
corner, I do
So we're
too.
going to round the corners.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Pretty cool.
We're going to round the corners from our video. And I'm going to click back on the video. And I'm going to click remove background, which actually the corners then, that part won't even be as big of an issue. But I can leave it
It's
or
true.
remove the background. So let's try
Right.
removing the background. And
The
we'll give it a
magic is
moment.
happening when you see that spinning up there in the corner.
Well, it's either the magic's happening or your computer froze. So we're going to go with the optimistic view here that it's just
The
processing.
magic is
And the nice
happening.
part is, right, removing a background on an image takes just a moment, but
Mm-hmm.
removing a background on a video takes a moment for it to get through and process the entire thing. But it is one of my absolute favorite features of Adobe Express because any video you create, just like you as you're seeing right now, not just what we have here, but
Mm-hmm.
something I create outside, anything I take,
Yep.
doesn't require a green screen now for me to be able to remove the background and use it.
Which makes it so simple to use anywhere. It's just great.
Now, while that's processing, give it another moment.
We definitely want to change because so it'll say your name instead of Tanya's name.
Yes. So if we've learned anything during this activity so far, is that my name is not Tanya. So I'm going to click on that and change that to Jesse's reflection. Now, check it out. The video is gone. Or
Cool.
sorry, the background of my video is gone, but I'm still there.
You are. That's
And I
awesome.
could hit play, and you're not gonna be able to hear it. I have to reshare for that, but you'll see me moving. Now there I am, just right on top of the questions, doing my thing.
Yes.
Now,
And some students like to kind of leave the questions and like put it to the side, almost like they're a news commentator with like what they're going to be talking about, kind of on the screen with them.
now
Or
if you're
go ahead.
now one, I'm glad you said that because one problem sometimes we have is that I have the video here, but I can't click behind it to get to the questions, right? But I want to edit the questions, so how can I do that?
You could move your video over and like edit your questions and then put the video back.
Could do that. Another option, again, over here on the right hand side, these little boxes that are all stacked on top of each other, those are our layers.
Mm-hmm.
Every object in your project is a layer. So
Right.
those layers are what we can use to control whether things appear on top of each other or below. And you can see our videos all the way up at the top. Now our questions are right here. If I click on them, it at least highlights it for me so I can get to them. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually going to move them up briefly, just right on top of me. And
Nice.
I'm going to just get rid of the multiple questions here for now. And I'm going to change questions. Where's questions? Same kind of thing.
This is looking so good.
We're just getting started. I'm going to change it
Yay.
to question. And again, to Kristen's point, and we may actually get rid of it in a moment, but just temporarily, we just want to see what it looks like with that one question there. And I'll bring myself back up to the top. And I'll move my head out of the way.
Nice. And again, these are all different, depending on what grade level you are working with, is kind of how extensive you would want this to be.
And we'll give everyone a moment to catch up here. So, what we've done so far, just to recap, in our project, we've named our project. Huge win for us. But just from the start, we are automatically the most effective student live stream we've had so far. So we named our project. We changed the name in the bubble to be from Tanya to Jesse. You should not change yours to Jesse unless your name is Jesse. You should make it your name. And then we went to media, and under video, we added a video reflection for the one prompt we chose. And then at that point, we took our video that came out, we removed background, we enhanced audio, and then we resized it and changed the text using layers.
Yes.
And while we're giving everyone a moment to catch up, this would be an ideal time for me to reshare using audio. So now Kristen's getting excited because now we're heading into the creative portion of today's session where we're really going to get to retro up our video. So we have our starting point. And again, one thing to keep in mind, the thing I love about the TV, and for those students who have never seen a TV like this, yes, this is a television. This is what TVs looked like back when we were younger. They had like knobs.
Yes.
And you could only, and the channels, if you turn that dial around to 13, once you got past 13 and went back to 2, that's all we had. We had like not even all those channels.
And they didn't play 24 hours a day. It's like they were, do you remember those
they
bars?
Turned off. Yeah,
they turned off, and there was like the
if you were up at 1 in the morning,
bars.
there was no TV.
Right.
No more TV. There's no cable. Nothing was on. Okay. So everyone should have their project in a state of ready to make retro. Again, we could always perfect this later.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kristen, where are we going from here?
Well, I love to go and change like the way that this background looks because, I am a pink person, so I like to put something in there that's pink. And there's a few different ways that you can do this. So depending again on what age group you are working with, I like to show them the background just right up there at the very top. The word says background.
Okay.
You can click there and then you can choose, like a color that you would like to be in your background. That's
Love that.
one way.
Okay. What's another way?
Okay. And another way is to go over to, oh, I'm just having like a brain freeze.
Theme right here.
Yes,
so one way I like doing it is theme
you.
because in theme, I can actually do a little search here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say I want to search for vintage to get like vintage color palettes. It will give me color palettes that I can then do two things with. One, I could pick one of them. So I'm going to pick a color palette. And if I don't like how it distributed that set of colors, I could shuffle them.
Yes. And theme is amazing.
I'm feeling.
You can also look, there's tons of things you can type in. Like you could type in that I just want all the blue themes. You can type in spring. So lots of different ways you can use the theme.
This is giving me very like Electric Company, like
old
school Sesame Street with the, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Okay.
I love that.
So we've changed the colors.
Yes.
What else? What else can we do?
So what I love to talk about, like, go back to where you were.
Oh, okay.
So you've also got some different things that show up on your screen so that you can go through and you can adjust the speed, you can adjust the volume. You've got some items up there, the effects at the top, and that's going to give you, if you want to click on it, make it like black and white.
Right. So I could make it like I could actually just
Hmm.
apply a filter to my video, but
Hmm.
notice it has a bunch of other options if I click view more.
Yes.
So you could see maybe, these are duotone features. So you can choose one of the basic ones of grayscale or darken, but you have all these other duotone um,
Can we see
options.
you in pink just for fun?
I know you're really into the blush doesn't really work well for me. Magenta might
I
be a
like
little
that
better.
one,
Right. Yeah.
the magenta.
Um, for the vintagey feel, I'm gonna keep it.
I like
I'm
it.
gonna keep it. I'll keep it black and white with these colors. I'm down. Um, as you mentioned, we have all of our other options for changing our video.
Hmm.
Um, what else can we do with this?
Well, what I like to do, again, I love to encourage creativity in the classroom. And so I always would encourage my students to add something there to that empty spot, like where it says Jesse's reflection and your
Like right
star.
under here? Yep,
Yes,
I
that
agree.
maybe goes along with whatever they said in their video. So it's kind of like I used to always tell them if they would like extra credit, they could do that.
So, Kristen, here's a question for you.
Okay.
Where, it's like a quiz,
Okay.
where in Adobe Express could I find something to put in that space right there?
Well, you could use AI, or you could go on to the far left-hand side and go to elements.
Love it. So let's actually, since you mentioned the far left hand side, we've been over here for media.
Hmm.
When we did media, remember we have that entire photo gallery of vintage. Oh, notice it kept the vintage um,
Nice.
search here.
I love that.
Tickets. The
I love
tickets were
that.
things we used to get into places before Ticketmaster was just an app on our phone that
Right.
we just showed everywhere.
We actually had
Right. So we
paper
have all of our
tickets.
vintage things here.
Love it.
Maybe I'll just pick a vintage thing. What's that?
Oh,
A
some
vintage
suitcases.
luggage. I did talk about how I went to a lot, went to different places. And what I'm going to do is just remove the background on that. And so now I have some luggage here and
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
place it over here. And I think I saw before Michael might have mentioned in the chat about animations. Remember, any
Yes.
object has those options there. So I have an animation option over here and I can do it for images, for videos. I want to animate that to just like
Oh, I
maybe
like that one.
tumble. Yeah, tumble
Yeah,
in, but I want it to tumble in from the right. And let's see
so
what that
cool.
looks like. So if I hit start talking, yep, right before I start talking, the luggage pops out. Cool. So we added something to the place that you didn't mention. So now let's add something to the place you mentioned, which was over here. Claudio just mentioned in the chat on the TVs, we used to have the antennas that you'd have to hold
Yes.
in the, yeah,
And occasionally you might have to put some aluminum foil.
that's right.
People are like,
Um,
what?
so, Kristen, what can we add here to our space?
Um, I was thinking um, maybe we should go and like search for something. I love using the button where it can create something that looks similar to it. So maybe under elements.
I'm going to give you one of my favorite search hacks right here. This is for
Oh,
everybody here watching. Kristen mentioned elements before, and if we go to elements, you'll see there's our design assets, our backgrounds, right? Our icons, our shapes. We looked at media already, where you can find your photos, your videos, your audio. But Kristen, what's something you might want to search for?
um, I kind of liked, let's see, you were talking about that you were teaching folks to create. So I don't know, maybe something like that you would use, like maybe like an iPad or a laptop, something like that, like some sort of
So I'm going to
technology.
search. So notice how instead of searching in the media or the elements, up here, I'm going to search for laptop. I'm going to hit enter. And when you use the search option up top, notice how you get options for videos, photo, you get all of those different options from all those different categories in one place. So we're going to give everyone a moment now to search for some things to add to their image or add to their video that relate to what they've been talking about.
That's an
Bonus
awesome.
points if after you select that image, you animate it.
Ooh,
How many points? 5.
nice.
What's the total? I don't know. I just made that up. So, but you get bonus points.
Extra credit.
Exactly. We love extra credit. So, we love partial credit. So, let's give everyone a moment. So, what we've done so far, again, we made our video, we've adjusted some of the colors, and we've added an object and animated it to our project. So, we're going to give you a couple minutes to make whatever creative changes you want to make to your project. And Kristen, while we're waiting for everyone to add a couple of things, it's only fair that we hear what you're the most proud of and why.
Okay. I am very proud of um, working with learners 5 to 105 on creating in the classroom.
Love it. Okay.
I'm really digging your project, Jesse. It's great.
It is very old school, literally.
I like it.
Um, so while we're looking, I'm actually going to look and see if we have any objects I like here. I'm going to go back to so I have a video here. Wonder how this will come out. I'm going to add this video of this light bulb popping up. And I, just like we did before, I'm going to remove background and see how it comes out. Now,
Nice.
sometimes when you remove background of a video that's in stock, it doesn't
Hmm.
always come out perfectly, but these are the things we try.
Exactly. You won't know unless you try. And for this purpose, I love my students. One of the main things that I would always make sure they knew about was the undo button up at the very top. So if it doesn't
My
work, which,
favorite button in the
uh-huh,
whole thing. So let's talk about that in a second. So let's see if this worked. I'm
it looks
gonna
like it did.
actually, we're gonna hit play.
I love
Love it. Let's go back to the, let's go add a timeline. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's see that one more time. Wow, look at that. There's a lot happening there. So there is suitcases flying in, there are light bulbs popping up,
That's great.
my arms are waving around. Okay. And I love that Claudio asked, what are some things that all of you, the students who are joining us, are
Hmm.
proud of? So we are reaching the end of another long school year, right? It always feels short later, but it feels long when you're living in it. But it is so important to think back about the things that you're really proud of that you accomplished over the school year. So, That doesn't mean we have to remember, you know, the quadratic formula for the next 12 years, but you know, that can be
Yeah.
hard when you're in it, learning it and doing it.
I love working with students and having them reflect on what they've done. Like I feel like it's very meaningful.
Um, you mentioned before
Mhm.
the undo button. I just wanted to point out where that is, but right up here at the top, we have that undo button. And right next to it, we have the redo button. So that's if I undid, but then decided, you know what, I want to undo the undo, so I'm going to redo. So both of those super handy to have. And notice, just as we're looking up at the top, we have that undo, that redo. And then remember, let's say I've been working on this now, as we have been for a little while, and I want to take a look back at that learn tab and see those steps,
Yes.
right? We have the video adjustment we can make. We can customize the background,
Hmm.
change the colors, all those different things. So great. And there's that
There's the
confetti.
confetti.
It's
Yay.
good. The confetti's working. Okay. What next? Let's just recap so far where we've come, Kristen.
Okay.
We started out, all we had was that Tanya's reflection and the prompts.
Hmm.
We then chose a prompt for ourselves and used that under media that record us a video that's that front facing camera to record a video reflection. We removed the background from that. We changed our prompts. We changed our colors, added a few objects in, and changed colors and things like that.
Yes,
So we've done a lot so far.
we have.
But I know you. You love to tinker and keep creating
I
and
do.
doing. What else can we do to this to add a little more oomph to our project?
Well, I would,
That wasn't
you
even a
know,
word. That was a sound. That was oomph.
but I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Like, I got it. I always love to, use a little bit of AI and add something in there that you can just explain and have it create to add to your video.
love it. So we haven't. I don't know if everyone on who's watching this knows AI is kind of a thing right now.
Mhm.
So where people are using AI to do lots of different things. And as it happens in Adobe Express, you can use AI to enhance your creativity in a number of different ways. So, one way, the easiest way to do that is under media, where we went to video before. Notice as soon as I click media, right here on that main screen, there's a generate image button. When I click that generate image button, it gives me some options for what image size I might want. Now, if you are in a school where you don't have access to that feature, that's okay because you still have access to all the photos in that gallery. And I'm almost willing to bet you're going to find something that's going to be exactly, right around what you want. But we're going to click square just to get something framed out for us to create. And you know what I like to do? Since
What?
we're on TV, we're on old school TV. I want to actually, instead of it being a square, we're going to do generate image and we're going to do landscape.
Okay.
And we are going to be not like on Gilligan's Island, but we're going to be somewhere because that's going to become our TV background.
Okay.
So where, where on what, like, where are we? Actually, the
Mhm.
Gilligan's Island is not the worst idea.
I know. I kind of think that's hilarious.
Right. So let's describe what that would look like. Now, for those of you, I know I realize now there are students watching who have no idea what I'm talking about. Gilligan, Gilligan's Island was a very old TV show where a bunch of people took a 3 hour tour on a boat and they crash landed onto an island. I'm pretty sure they got off at some point.
Not
I also
100%.
think if I'm remembering, there were guests on the island at certain point, like maybe the Harlem Globetrotters and maybe Batman and Robin. But I digress. So we are good. Okay, so we are on. I'm going to type into our prompt on a
Okay.
deserted island.
With
Um,
a few palm trees and
with a
coconuts.
few palm trees and coconuts, which are important because we need to eat something on this deserted
Right.
island,
I'm gonna use
and
them for
a
cups.
volleyball because that's who we're going to talk to. That's going to be our friend. Different movie. It's okay.
Hmm.
Um, okay, let's start with that. So that I'm going to generate that. And okay, so
Oh,
that's we have our volleyball, we have our
I like it.
coconuts.
Let's see what else is down there. I think I kind of am feeling
I
the
like the
last
first
one.
one. Oh, last one.
Okay.
Okay.
No, you can pick. It's your
Well, it's
video.
fine. I mean, I'll go with the first one just because otherwise I'm in the water, but
Okay.
I'm not really into getting wet. Now, here's the cool thing. I have my image, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the effects
Okay.
and we're going to make it grayscale because
Nice.
remember we're on an old TV show
Yes.
and we're going to bring myself up back above this.
I love it.
And here we are. And we'll put everything else on top too.
Okay.
And so let's hit play from the beginning again. And there I am. I'm on Gilligan's Island or Jesse's Island from our reflection video.
That's great.
Um, oh, okay. So just for the live stream, this is happening in the chat, but I want to make sure anyone watching this gets the facts straight. In the chat, they were never rescued during the show, 98 episodes, but they were temporarily rescued in a movie in 1978. Thank you so much for the fact check. Also,
Wow.
Claudio noted that it's funny how the guests always got off the island. Yes.
Yes,
So
that's
lots of
true.
mischief. I'm there now. Feel free to right look through the magic of Adobe Express and recording. We were able to turn our video into a Gilligan's Island. Um, we are in a TV in an old school show reflecting on our year. I don't know how we got here, but that's the beautiful part of creativity, right?
Yes.
So
It's
we have a few
whatever you see in your mind, you can create.
so we have a few minutes left. We're going to give you, for those of you who are still here, we want to give you a few minutes to now try to create something in AI or find something really cool in the photo gallery to be able to add to your photo. I personally love um, I like using AI to create backgrounds, not just for video, but just in
Hmm.
general. So instead of looking for a cool background, I can describe exactly what I want. Great suggestion in the chat that we could actually also add animations. So
Hmm.
actually, let's say I wanted to, what I could do is right now, take a look at how my suitcase is. Oh, if I go to the beginning, right, the suitcase tumbles in from the side of the project. Well, what if instead of it tumbling in there, it tumbled in back here, but in black and white. So it's now part of my, and I'll put it behind me.
And
So
somebody
it
in
looks
the
like it's
chat
layered.
also, I love, they said, how they used coconuts for like everything in the show. They said they were going to use the coconuts for the internet, the coconut internet.
So, right. So now I took my luggage. If I go back to the beginning, notice how it's part of my TV background.
Nice.
So very easy to make changes all around to your project. Oh, my hands are coming out of the TV. So that's a little too.
I kind of like that. I kind of make it thinks
Yeah,
it looks like
it's
more.
so we love the vintage look feel. But again, let's say you're not into the TV vibe.
Hmm.
That's cool too. That's the beautiful part about creating in these projects is you can do whatever you want with them. You can take out the TV. You could put something, you could have no TV. You could just start with a blank background and go from there. So I love though how these templates give you a really great starting place And I also love, again, remember, with the light bulb, you have that learn tab that gives you the help step by step of some of the things you could do to change your project.
And I love that there's so many options once you are finished with your project for the students. They can share them, they can download them to their own device.
Exactly. Someone mentioned pop out effect.
Yep.
Um, wow, I love seeing in the chat some of the amazing things that they're sharing out about their classes. So, um, Kristen, do you have
Yes.
any other final tips or tricks to share with the students here that maybe when they're working on their own projects or another project, something that you really love that we haven't touched on yet in Adobe Express?
I love the replace button. That's one of my total favorite buttons.
Ooh,
Just,
so like, let's pick something.
yes.
Um, let's see. So we can
So up at the
replace.
very top,
Yeah.
you can just click on quick replace. It's the next to the
Ooh,
last.
quick
Yeah.
replace. So
Yeah.
replace contents on this page. I'm going to click quick replace. And it's going to say select each thing you want to quick replace. Let's say I want to replace the star. And what can I do here?
I mean, you could replace it with something that you want to upload. You could go and say, I want to replace it with a photo, or I want to replace it with, I mean, anything. You can pick any of those items that you want to
Yeah,
replace
so
it
let's
with.
say we want to pick, instead of a star, maybe we
Okay.
want a boat for
Oh, I love
our,
that.
right, for
Our tour.
our thing here. Yeah, and there you go. Quick replace. Wow, I love it.
Super fast.
That's a great tip. Okay, my final tip is going to be the one thing we really didn't get to mess with is notice how on our video timeline we have that add audio piece here.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't really get into audio so much, but audio can be a couple different things. It can be music that we have here in our Adobe Express library. It could be music we have as a file that we want to upload, or it can be just recording a voiceover. Let's say we didn't want to do a video or we wanted to do something else. We could also add our own voiceover to that. So a lot of really cool things that you can do with audio.
Awesome. I love that.
All right. Oh, great suggestion in the chat for you can have the animated character asking you the questions. So if you wanted to
That would
layer,
be
do it
cool.
like that, where you just time it out, where you have your answer and you're asking the animated characters asking you questions. Really cool thing. You could actually have different animated characters asking you questions and adding each of them, right? Because we can click animate characters
Mm-hmm.
multiple times and having them kind of pop in whenever they're ready to ask their question, like a little interview stand over here. And maybe that's something you could do over here on the left hand side. So I love
Yes.
that idea too. All right. Well,
Fantastic.
Kristen, thank you so much for joining us. We hope we can have you back again sometime soon. This was great. All the students that joined us live, we hope that you had a great time with us and you were able to create a really great reflection video for the school year. But remember, it doesn't have to be for the school year. It could be for any time at all. And again, you feel free to come back again, please, to Adobe Live to tune in for more amazing activities that we do with the Adobe for EDU team.
Yes,
Thanks so
thanks so much
much.
for having me.